the YouTubes to catch up, the chat to roll on in. So while we're waiting on that, I'll go ahead and get my laptop to where I want it. Get my phone over here. Alright, dude, we're chilling. Drinking a Coke today. Yeah, brother, that's a good Coke. And we gotta meet that one. Alright. But y'all know what it is. Ask me your VA disability questions. We are here. Ask me your VA disability questions. Ask me your VA disability questions. Everything you need for VA disability claims found at CIVDIVonline.com. Pin that. Alright. Hey, Hundo, what's up? What's up? Waiting on the news from, you know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm waiting for. Grace Smith says, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Also, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Like the stream, share it, do whatever you want. I would love you forever. Daniel Gilland, hi Clay, what's up? VA Housing Education, David, how's it going? Good to see you the other day, teaching the National Guard Bureau. It's pretty dope. Thanks for the opportunity. Jesse Perez says, how much is it to join your channel? I normally don't like talking about money on streams, but just to be real with you, members don't get anything fancy, okay? Everything I do, I try to stay in the free realm. That's why I answer questions free online. But if you want to join, to be honest with you, I have no idea. I've never actually looked at it, although I've gotten that question a few times. But members don't get anything outside of I'll answer their questions and their comments. I have a few videos that are personal to me that members get, but that's about it. So it's not, I don't want to mislead you and say you're going to get help for it, because you're not. It's not that type of membership. But let me just click on my own join button, because I've never done that before. So 5, 10, 25, 50, or 100. 5. I don't even know how many, well, whatever, get the point. Okay. Clifford Crawford says, hi, what's up? How's it going? Thank you for coming to the stream. How does the bilateral factor work? Solid question. I'll get to the members here after this one. So how does the bilateral factor work? Easy peasy. First, without taking my word for it, you can go to Hill and Potten calculator and look it up. Easy peasy. Now, bilaterals are both sides. So shoulders, your elbows, your wrist, hands, my hips, my knees, my legs, my ankles, my feet, all those are bilateral, so both sides of the body. Yes, this is live. This is live in YOB. So let's say you have 10% knees, 10% left and right knee. I'm just going to go to Hill and Potten's calculator right now, because I'm not going to do that math. But the bilateral factor for that is 1.9. Now, that's 10 and 10. If you have, let me take these off, if you have 2% on each leg, the bilateral factor goes up to 3.6. Essentially, and this is going to be the Barney style answer, essentially it gives you an extra 10%. Right? Now, obviously, the higher bilateral factor you have, the more that's going to come in clutch, but generally speaking, very general, it's about a 10% boost, okay? 10% meaning not 90 to 100, I'm talking like 90 to 91, 90 to 92, that type of 10%. Okay, Zeb Moultrie, thanks for coming to the chat, appreciate it. Eli Riddle says, hey Clay, good news, looks like my mental health increase is going to get approved at 70%. Hey dude, that's awesome. Overall now at 90. Have to do a final higher level review for sleep apnea. Fingers crossed, dude. I'm wishing the best for you, man. I really am. Michael Maldonado, thank you for being a member. Both of you. Says, what's up, brother? Love your videos. I love you, Michael. Okay? I'd kiss you right here if you weren't in front of me. Not really. MYLB, yep, this is live. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Jesse Perez says, oh, okay, that sounds fair. Oh, yeah, on the membership thing. Yeah, I'm not a, there's no boot camp thing. I am going to do a live Q&A for members only. I actually need to schedule that so everyone can show up. But outside of that, that's about it, man. Clinton Seams says, hey, Clay, aren't all bilateral disabilities supposed to be above your highest rated disability? I have both knees connected, but they are not listed with my other bilateral claims. It's applied, okay? So it's not like you'll see your bilateral factor on your ratings. It's just applied in there somewhere in the math. The one thing the VA rarely, and I mean super rarely, messes up is your actual percentages, okay? So if you have a bilateral factor, I promise my life it is in there. Jessica Martinson says, if I'm 0% service connected for nasal bone fracture, would it be possible to file secondary for sleep apnea? Yeah, it could, right? Assuming your nasal bone fracture is causing your obstructive sleep apnea. Depends. All right, Daniel Gillen says, if I submit new claims with my supplemental claims, are they all work together by the same rater? Totally depends on what that timeline looks like. So what happens is when your claims are ready, it goes to that decision, and the rater has a time quota. Okay, the VA raters work on time quotas. If it passes that time quota, that's when like the VA raters get in trouble. This is the basic understanding of that. And so the answer is it depends. Okay. Did they change the sleep apnea rating conditions? No, they have not. No, they have not. Not at all. Yep. All right, Clinton Seams says, I originally claimed the knees as a bilateral condition, but they are not listed anymore. No. So they don't have, just because if you have left knee, right knee, they don't have to say bilateral knee to get the bilateral factor. All you need is two sides of the body. It could be left ankle, right hip, okay? That's the bilateral. It goes off of the extremities, so legs and arms. Left leg conditions, right leg conditions. Left arm conditions, right arm conditions. All right, Mr. J says, asked this earlier, but answer wasn't clear. All right, I will try to do my best, brother. Maybe we should have a tally of how many dumb questions I get. Okay, just got diagnosed with PTSD by private psychologist. Is it due to a physical? It is due to a physical attack, but not MST or combat related. What form do I use to file the claim? Okay, two things. If you're doing it online, do it online. It'd be a new condition, assuming you haven't been denied for any mental health. If you're not doing it online, it would be the 526, okay? Now the PTSD is the 0781, I want to say, don't quote me on that. And the VA would tell you to do that, or you go use the VSL and they handle it all for you, okay? But even if you didn't know anything, you can log on va.gov right now and submit a claim for a new condition or supplemental claim. You can do that. You can also do that online. All right, Trace, you're next. I got you. Michael Maldonado, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Says, I meet with a psychiatrist in 3 weeks for PTSD. Should I file as soon as I get the PTSD diagnosis, or wait till I establish a relationship with psychiatrist? It depends on if you have the in-service event. To be honest with you, I'm hoping you have a intent to file. But if this is your first meeting with your psychiatrist and you have the intent to file, I would just wait till after the first appointment you have and then submit the claim. But it seems like I'm going to assume you have the in-service event. If that's the case, you probably have a solid claim. Obviously, I'm speculating a lot there. All right. Nathaniel McKinney says, just got my decision letter, got my mental health back up to 70% with combined. Congrats. Half of my class were denied. The other half I think you meant claims. Half my claims were denied, the other half were deferred and sent for an ACE exam. Yeah, nature of the beast. You got to figure out why you were denied. Feel like I'm back. Active duty being blown off again. I assume you mean by the VA. If that's the case, man, that sucks. Okay, so Tracy says, just had my CMP exam last week, but my VSO said I will likely have a hard time because I was National Guard. Yeah, so I just taught the National Guard, and something I tell National Guard and reserves is no one gets shafted more than Guard and reserves do. It comes down to medical evidence, LODs, and medical evidence. You either have it or you don't. I'm going to assume you don't, because that's what your VSO would have said that if you don't, which would be absolutely the case. It would be true. Yeah, okay. Michael Maldonado says, I do have intent to file, only have personal statement and buddy letter. CAB wasn't created yet when I deployed to Iraq 04-05, or April. You were in Iraq at the height of the war for a year. I think you'd be alright. Air Force vet says, hi brother, how does the VA combine PTSD and major severe depression? Is it the highest of the two? No, so the symptoms are the same. The VA doesn't rate diagnoses ever, it's just the symptoms. And so how do they rate them together? They just do under that general schedule of mental health. MYOB says that was the second part question. MYOB, the only chats I have from you is this live? And then feel like I'm active duty again. I don't see any other chats from you at all. Alright. Broadway Blues, I watch all your videos and recently got 100% PNT. Thank you so much. I'm glad I could be a part of that for you. I'm over the moon and happy. I finally don't have to stress over ratings anymore. Thanks so much. Thank you, dude. Yeah, the whole purpose of this is to help veterans anyways. Sure, I'm going to complain about whatever I want to complain about because that's what I do. But at the end of the day, it's all about informing, helping veterans. Clifford Crawford says, I've been diagnosed with 100% disability by the VA as well as being treated by the VA, but they won't classify me as service-connected. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, Clifford, because you can't be diagnosed 100% VA disability, but be service-connected. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. You're gonna have to rework that question into something that makes sense, so I can give you an answer. Clinton says, because I use Hill and Potton's calculator, they have me at 92, but the VA only has me at 91. I'm fighting my 100, so every 10% counts. Alright, Robert says, Mr. Clay, I have an in-service knee injury. Can I claim secondary back and hip pain? I mean, you can, but the question is your knee leading to your hip and back pain? That's the question the VA needs to answer, okay? Generally speaking, if you have like a super severe knee condition, that's more probable. If you're talking like 0 or 10% knees, you know, it sounds like it would be a difficult claim to make. Michael Maldonado, thanks for being a member. I appreciate that. It says, any known links between burn pits and skin rashes? Yes, there are skin conditions under the PACT Act, Biplatoon, both the first burn pit and BiPAP. Not having any luck with my own research. Yeah, if you have a skin condition, submit the claim. Let the VA do VA stuff, okay? You submit the claim. So like Clifford is saying he's being treated for bipolar disorder and it would be 100% rated, but he's not service connected for it. You would need a Nexus. Oh, okay, I see. Let me go back up to Clifford's thing. I'm just going to go off of what Josh said here. You're saying a mental health condition, bipolar, would put you at 100%, and you're being treated for it. Yeah, so first you need to figure out why you were denied, right? Because you're asking, how do I get them to reverse that decision? You got to figure out why you were denied. First and foremost, hey, Venger1, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. All right, welcome to the chat. If you ask a question, I always answer member chats. Figure out why you were denied. Step one. Depending on why you were denied, okay, will determine which route you go. Okay, sorry. Victoria says, quick question, how can I predict the rating percentage and use the rating of schedule to help persuade the CMP examiner to get the rating I'm legally allowed to? I would never, that's a bad question. Okay, let's just reword that question. How can you communicate to the CMP examiner of your symptoms? That's the question I'm going to answer. One, first and foremost, self-reports down here. Okay, self-reports are baloney. I know people will tell you to talk about like it's your worst day, which isn't bad advice, but it's stupid. Okay, because you need medical evidence. So whatever condition you're talking about, you need to speak with your healthcare team, whether that is through the VA or private, right? Or if you're like retired, TRICARE, wherever that looks like for you. Get medical evidence of your symptoms, so that way when you speak to the examiner, the CMP can't discount what you're saying, because they cannot ignore medical evidence. I'm actually going to link a video for you here because it explains what I just said a lot better. Let me just find this video and then I'll get back to answering questions. How to speak to a CMP examiner. Extremely, extremely, extremely important. I know it's here somewhere. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. Bam! Found it. Okay. Wayne Garrison. I was awarded 40% for lower back. However, examiner didn't put anything in radiculopathy section of DBQ, even though medical evidence clearly showed it and it was discussed with the examiner. Well, it depends. First, are you rated on range of motion or incapacitating episodes? I'm going to assume range of motion, okay? And second, if the radiculopathy, let's just say sciatic nerve damage, is in your DBQ from the CMP exam, I think that's a pretty easy higher level review and say, hey, I didn't claim this, what does that look like? Because the VA's duty to assist is supposed to kick in there. That's what I would do at least. If you're after that 1 year mark, then just submit a claim as secondary. What should I bring to the CMP exam for depression and anxiety? You should bring, I hate this question, because people will say, bring statements, bring this, bring that, and really you need to communicate with the company. So if they reach out to you and say, hey, is there any evidence you need to upload? Do that. Assuming that you can't do that for whatever reason, what you need to do is speak on your evidence. That video I just shared, Pete Daniels, look at it. It's how you speak to a CMP examiner, because you speak through your evidence. Whatever words coming out of your mouth, it needs to support your evidence. Because if it doesn't, it becomes a self-report. Medical evidence, self-report. Okay? This is good. This is dog water. Okay. Josh, thank you for being a member. Appreciate that. Oh, I see you're answering the question. Okay. All right, Mr. Hello All. Hey Clay, I saw reviews online from Dr. Sharma, but not for Dr. Patel. Do they both have good reviews? Dr. Patel doesn't have a large online presence because she's not able to her intake is small, okay? So the more she broadcasts herself, the more veterans she can't get to. That's why, but yes, she's good. Don't take my word for it, okay? You can also just look for another physician to do your, if you need one, private Nexus and DBQ. Okay, Military Retirement Podcast. Clay, just stopping by to to say congrats on the 30,000 subs. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, everyone. I did an episode with Military Retirement Podcast talking about disability and just transition in general, going from the Marine Corps to a contractor to a government employee. So you want to check that out, go to their channel, Military Retirement Podcast. And I'm sure I could probably link that in the chat if I took 2 seconds to look it up. But if you want to do me a solid, they're trying to hit their first 1,000 subs. They're at 536 right now. If they hit 1,000, they're going to go to the Military Influencer Conference. So if you want to support them, go ahead, watch the episode I did. I'm sure it answers tons of your questions, but check it out. All right, Wayne Garrison. I even gave her a reminder note before I left. I filed HLR right or wrong. Hey, I'm glad you said that, Wayne, because that was my answer. That's the right thing to do. That's what I would have done. Nicholas Parker says, thanks for everything you and veterans and info tap. Hey, do. Thank you. Thank you very much. Y'all's info on Combat Credit helped me to be properly rated. Awesome. Philip, I appreciate the info. I'm 100% P&T as of February. Got out in 15. Awesome. Congrats to you. We have a lot of 100% P&Ts in the chat today, so congrats to all of you. Josh L. says, I think I'm overrated for my back, but underrated for mental health. Should I just leave it be? That's a really weird question for me to answer, because I'm always going to promote being properly rated. Now, when you think you're overrated, you might be more jacked up than you think, okay? The back is not rated off of pain, it's rated on range of motion. Or incapacitating episodes, I'm going to assume you're talking about range of motion. If you're underrated for mental health, then submit the increase with evidence, right? Assuming you're past that 1-year window. I have 10% for bilateral tibia and fib stress fracture and 20% for both and 10% for bilateral tinnitus. It's just tinnitus. All are surgically connected and was diagnosed by the VA psych with psychosis. Okay. There's no question there. Clinton seems sorry for asking so many questions. That's fine. If there's no questions, there's no string. Remember that. But my county VSO will not pull my CMP exam results. Yeah, it is normal. Some do, some don't. Okay, they're not supposed to technically, but a lot do. They at least let you see them. They don't really print them out. But if you really want to see your CMP exam results, all you need to do is go to or make an appointment with your regional office, submit that paperwork. It's generally fast. Not your entire C file. You can request specific DBQs from CMP exams. All right, first donation of the day. Appreciate that. Michael Angel Barrios says, hello, Bretta. What's up? For asthma, does VA strictly go? Yes, they do. Or the more favorable outcome with prescribed daily inhaler. So the need for the medication, right, or treatment is accounted for in those readings. All right. So the reason you needed that is how it's going to go. But to answer your question, it's yes. Yes, they do. We actually have an asthma video as well. I'm going to link that in the chat for you because it's good, right? It's a good video. It's a good breakdown of everything you need to know to figure out if you're properly rated or not. Once I find it, oh, here it is. Boom, asthma, and Jay did this one. All right, Josh, thank you for being a member. So I know you do some one-on-ones with vets, but if there's questions about reviewing decision letters, do you care if I point them towards the Facebook group? Yeah, if people want to, the Facebook group is fine. I'm not a part of Stephanie's Facebook group anymore. That's a whole thing. Wild, but sure, yeah, absolutely. I have no quarrels with anything like that. All right, I'm gonna get to member chats here real quick. MYOB says, how can I complain about VA care They just blew me off and did not complete a real exam and pretended I'm fine, just VA care. That would be your patient advocacy. Okay, patient advocacy is your route when you want to complain about your VA healthcare, and they will figure something out, okay, and get whatever it is that you need. It actually works. Alejandro Diaz, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Says I have behavioral CMP in 2 weeks. If I just recently got diagnosed for depression and anxiety, not service connected. I've been out for 12 years. I was diagnosed outside the U.S. because they didn't have insurance. Should I upload medical evidence? Absolutely. Medical evidence is medical evidence. Okay. Absolutely, 1,000%. Okay. Yeah, Mr. J, no problem. No problem. Appreciate that. Mr. Hello All, how do I become a member of your channel, my friend? Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. There's a join button up there. Members don't get anything except for I answer their chats. And then if you comment on, if you have a new comment on a video, I'll answer your comment too. Tracy Nichols, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Says, hi, enter by mistake on my question. What do I need for my shoulder to get 3 more %? Shoulder comp review tomorrow. Okay, hold on. Hit enter by mistake on my question. What do I need for my shoulder to get 3 more %, 20% shoulder comp review? Okay, shoulders are rated on range of motion. I'm gonna link a video, but I'm gonna give you a synopsis, especially because you donated, right? Range of motion. And there's potential for pinched nerves. Just like your lumbar spine, Tracy, has sciatic nerve, and you can have rating for your legs. Same thing with your shoulders and your arms. There's nerves in there. Right, that would be my number 1 plan, is to look at your nerve damage. Do your arms go numb? If so, think of secondaries. Secondly, for your shoulder, range of motion. Okay, so range of motion, going like this way, and then backward and forward. Range of motion. That's how the VA is going to rate your shoulders. Adam Schmidt, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. What do you think of veterans starting a network about very good CMP examiners so they can pay them? Do you have a guess what they cost? What do you think of veterans starting a network about very good CMP examiners? If you're talking about, I assume you're talking about like independent, like private Nexus letters and DBQs from CMP examiners. It's funny you say that, because most Nexus letter and DBQ providers out there were previous CMP examiners. They just figured that the VA's way of doing stuff was absolutely insane, and they could make more money doing it by themselves, and they could do it right, instead of having like bureaucracy crowd over them. So most of them were CMP examiners. As far as to answer your question, I would be comfortable with $1,000 or less, unless we're talking like a super complicated, you're doing PTSD or sleep apnea secondary obesity with PTSD. We're doing GERD secondary to PTSD, and we're doing ED secondary PTSD, right? That would be a little more, but 1,000 would be my cap. And that's just me personally. Yeah, Tracy, if you have nerve damage in your arms, 1,000%, I would go secondary. Okay. This hat is really bothering me today. I don't know why. H. Bates. Can C-File have more in-service medical files than National Archives? It can have less, actually. What's the fastest way? There is no fastest way. It's 6 to 9 months. So the C-File only has what the VA used to decide your claim. That's what's in your C-File, okay? So they didn't use something to decide your claims, it's not gonna be in there. But regional office, FOIA request, have at it. All right, Venger1, thank you for being a new member, I appreciate that. First member chat says 10% for tinnitus, have had HA ever since acoustic trauma. Military medical records have several pages of headaches complaints. have been on sumatriptan and risen for decades, still denied. Next step. Yeah, one, why were you denied? Okay, I'm going to assume you didn't have the in-service event. You could go secondary. I still want to know what else your service connected for, vendor. Because migraine to tinnitus is a bit shaky. It depends on what else your service connected for. Like if you have PTSD or anxiety, that might be a better route. In my opinion, that's what I would do. But you can go migraine secondary to tinnitus. There's just contradictory medical evidence against that. I know everyone says you can do it, but the medical evidence is there to say no. That's a fact. Okay. Hey, Fed, thank you very much for answering the question. I appreciate that. Okay. Mark Schwartz, I promise you my Patreon does not say that. Not at all. That might be the monthly. But the memberships is $5. I'm looking right at it. Okay. Clay, can I apply? We're getting a lot of membership questions. This is out of the normal. Emmanuel says, can I apply for primary rhinitis and secondary sleep apnea concurrently? Yes, you can. It's not better or worse. The question is, do you have the evidence? If you don't have the evidence, then you don't submit it. And if you have the evidence, then you submit it. That is the answer to your question, okay? Whether it's primary, secondary, doesn't matter. I want to know if you would rate PACT Act for rhinitis or TARA for sleep apnea. Okay, that would help your case. But even if you don't file it as is, the VA will do it on their own. Okay, Michael Maldonado, thank you for being a member, says, I keep hearing about C files. I haven't filed a claim yet, so I have a C file. Is it similar to a 201 file? I don't know what a 201 file is. Similar, you're talking OMPF, okay? Similar, but for the VA, it's everything the VA will use to decide your claim. Your claims file is what it stands for. So once you start getting into that, the VBA system, you'll have a C file. Josh, oh yeah, thank you for answering questions. I appreciate that. All right. Wayne Garrison. All right, IA Music. IA Music says, I was denied depression and mental health and the pain. How do I get my pain service connected? Why were you denied? Right. Anytime someone talks about denials, there's no answer. No one can give you advice without looking at the reason you were denied in the first place. So why were you denied? Okay, Adam Schmidt, $1,000. I couldn't agree with you more. I saw the same one twice. She was a 10 out of 10 rather than a 0 out of 10. Yeah, $1,000 would be my cap. Personally, that's me. Like there's a company called AME, American Medical Exams or Examinations, Evaluations, whatever, AME. They charge an absolute buttload. I'm talking like $2.5 grand, $3 grand, $4 grand sometimes, which is insane for that. Personally. Okay. Hobie Juan Novi, I love your name, says no question, just saying hi. What's up? Appreciate that. Love Live says, it would be nice if we could go patient first or urgent care to get DBQ done. Yeah, it would be nice, assuming that they know how to do it. But the DBQ, if you're getting a DBQ done and you're not paying for it, it's best to go to your provider, right? Your primary or your referred care. Yeah, Javon in Military Retirement Podcast. Yeah, BDD is benefits delivery at discharge. It's for active duty service members, $180 to 90 days out, it is the best time. It is the best time to submit your claim. 3 artists has made it to alive. Yep, welcome. Welcome. Derail, I just saw someone's name with catfish balls. It's really funny. Derail says, I was denied service connection for sprained ankles when I got out of service because my VSO didn't specify which ankle. My military medical records show I injured. Yeah, so that's not why you were denied. Okay, you could just put ankle and the VA would figure it out. So that's not why you were denied. You were denied for the big 3. It's either the in-service event, which it doesn't seem like it, or the current diagnosis, right? And then in some cases, not many, you can have both of those and not have the Nexus. So what is your decision letter? I promise your decision letter does not say anything about that. I would absolutely drive a friend 8 to 10 hours. I live near Pittsburgh. Oh yeah. Awesome at it. Awesome at it. Okay. Davin Slick. Davinin Salick. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. I also got a little chat here at the bottom that says, let's celebrate their 20th super on a live stream. On a live stream. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Thank you for the sticker. Alright. KR, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name, but you know. Okay. Where would you recommend getting a Nexus for sleep apnea, or do you have a physician for establishing sleep apnea? Secondary to what? That's what matters. Secondary to what? If it's mental health, psychiatrist. If it's not, then secondary to what? Right? Respiratory system, tinnitus. I've seen tinnitus connected on one veteran. 2, actually, 2. It just depends. Okay, Chris Gutierrez, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Says you're looking extra handsome today. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. Adam Schmidt says I was denied for 7 years. Immediately got 70%. Then 2 months later, 100% P&T from the same examiner. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That sounds like a solid. Vanessa says no question. Ooh, I don't want to answer that, Vanessa, on live. Can you send me an email? Send me an email to CIVDIV.com. I'll see your email. I know we talked in the past, so. Plus, I want to update. I'm pretty sure I remember your case, and I'm hoping you're 100%. Should be an email. I know you have it. Okay. MJ, does the VA ever file a claim or an increase on your behalf if you didn't ask them to, if they see evidence in your record? Yeah, absolutely. Whoa. Not an increase on your behalf, okay? I've seen like a higher level review, yes, but the VA is never going to, awesome Vanessa, that's great, that's awesome. The VA is never going to submit the increase for you, okay? So you have to do it. Tracy Nichols says, ugh, I have a QTC appointment tomorrow for my right shoulder. Oh, okay, that's what you were talking about. And more so, Tracy, if you need a, hey, KRS, I just answered your question. That was the name I couldn't pronounce. I just answered it. You just kind of scroll back a little bit, you'll see it. The answer is it depends on what the primary is. But Tracy, if you need a replacement, it's likely that you're gonna need, after surgery, you're probably gonna be 30%. There might be a clause in there, I can't remember off the top of my head, that it can't be lower than 30. Alright, yeah, Adam, now your question makes way more sense. If there was a resource where veterans can see which CMP examiners are good and which are not, that would be beautiful. Next Silky Hike, I don't know, Chris. I might not be able to do the one in DC this summer. Yeah, Mark, the Patreon you're talking about, Patreon tells you the monthly subscribers, okay? And if you were to become a monthly subscriber, it would be $5 on Patreon. The total you're talking about is the total of all the subs. Okay. But no, it's fine. It's fine, Mark. Don't. I promise that's not the monthly membership. Okay. Marcus Williams says I was able to get in my service medical records from TRICARE Online. Yes. So the depending on where you're at in your timeline, TRICARE Online is solid, and that's moving all to Genesis. Okay. All right. Brady Jones. I got denied a tinnitus rating because it happened while I was in the reserves. It did. We went off the range all the time, but they said it didn't happen during my active time. It didn't count. Brady, I would like to see your decision letter. Okay. Drill time is federal time. Okay. Drill counts. Now, as far as your medical evidence and your LODs and all that stuff, that's a little different. So it just depends on exactly what we're talking about. All right, Josh, thank you very much for. I see you answering everyone's questions, dude. I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, there's no income limits. I mean, passive income doesn't count for TDIU. Yep, totally. Especially on the business thing. Okay, Venger, no PTSD, headache started the same as tinnitus. Denial mentioned one occasion of headache earlier in the enlistment. No mention of doctor visits. Ooh, if you have the in-service event, which it seems like you do, that's going to be the best route. Right? You can do a supplemental. I would be curious if you have a current diagnosis, then you could do a supplemental claim. Just based on that. Okay. Dago Kid says, if I say I have no nexus and no proof, is it possible to still get a rating? Have you ever heard of it happening? I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm going to assume you're meaning submitting a nexus, which you don't have to do. The CMP examiner will do that. What you do need is the in-service event and the current diagnosis. Jesse Perez, does an examiner use previous notes from PTXD exam as evidence? The CMP examiner will use whatever the VA gives them. So the answer is yes. Not all DBQs questions were asked during the second time. Depends. Filing a BDD and then my final CMP exam. What's the timeline? Yeah, so all timeline questions. I get this question every single time I do this multiple times. There's not a single person on this planet that can give you a timeline. Some people on BDDs receive their claims in less than 10 days, or their ratings in less than 10 days. Some 3 months, some 6 months. We don't know. Not CIA, that's funny. Can you look at my CMP for mental health? I can't tell if it's good or bad. No, I cannot. I don't have access to your stuff, player. Kings, I was diagnosed for IBS in service, but had no idea. I claimed GERD, got 0%. When I reviewed my records, I found out the military doctor diagnosed me for IBS, but he didn't tell me any options. Claim IBS. Cooster says, hi, Mr. Sims. Hello. Did thumbs up. Thank you very much. Yes, if you get value from this, hit the thumbs up button. I'd appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, exactly what Animal Track said. Thank you. CMP done April 29 by nurse. Now waiting results. Got an email yesterday warning second CMP, DBQ, Nexus, sleep test, CPAP done by private healthcare. Why second CMP? I don't know, man. The VA loves to overdevelop. Right? They love to overdevelop. It really depends on the context and the things I can't see from doing these chats with you. But that sucks, I can tell you that. William Newcomb, what do you think about ACE exams? ACE, when you have all the evidence besides DBQ sent in. Yeah, so when you have all the evidence, that's generally when you'll see ACE, right? When it just requires the opinion. So everything's there, they just need the opinion. Generally, that's when you see ACE. Eric Ruiz says, I got an answer back after sending my paperwork and buddy statements, but they need more specific details for them to be able to forward the claim to JSRC. What would you suggest? If you have a lot of the processes, and the VA is automatic, so they're going to tell you no matter what. If you already submitted all your evidence, then you submitted all your evidence. That's it. If they're asking for something specific, like a specific form, then you complete the form. All right, Tim Insel, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. Tim says, I filed an intent to file today for GERD. Why be rated under the old criteria? All right, I'm gonna link a I'm gonna answer your question. I'm also gonna link a video because it explains it way more in depth. Let me find this first, and then I will answer your question, brother. But let me answer it, and then go watch the video, because it tells you how they're rated and it gives you a lot more information, okay? So boom, there you go. Okay, Timmy. Let's say right now you have a claim in for GERD IBS, and it is today is May 16th. It goes into effect May 19th. The VA will rate you off of both the schedules, old and new. The VA will take the higher of the two, right? So you're actually in best case scenario right now to submit for GERD IBS. All right, Adam Schmidt, just advice. I'm older, so my medical records were written in chicken scratch. Yep, that sucks. After 6 years, I got my mental health nurse NP sister to highlight parts of it and make notes on it. I had the whole stack with me during the exam, and it gave a lot of confidence. Awesome. That's great. That's definitely good advice. Charles says, I have lower back issues, and they sent me to physical therapy. My primary doctor prescribed a back brace, and if so, and they approve it, can I choose? Thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's a conversation you need to have with your primary care, okay? There's no way I can speak for your primary care. I'm not going to try to. But yes, you can talk to your doctor. Yeah, Adam. I totally agree with that. All right, Venger, thank you very much. Says, I do. Doctor wrote me a short letter. He's an HMO doctor, so it's limited. VSO even still with a letter to get shots. Currently diagnosed with migraines. Have had them sent to active service. If that's the case, then you're ready for a supplemental. All right, Chance. Thank you very much, Chance. I appreciate that, seriously. It says EAS in 6 months. You are at the golden era, okay? Chance, you need to listen to me. You need to listen to what I'm saying, okay? Stop donating. Don't give anyone money. Just hear me out. Thank you, by the way. You've been diagnosed with heart failure and some other heart-related issues. Do all heart issues fall under the same rating? So, I'm going to answer your question with the honest truth, okay? I don't care if you have 100 different heart conditions, okay? I don't care. I want you to submit every single one. I don't even know that many heart conditions, but let's just say you had 100 of them. You submit every single one that stems from service. Let the VA do VA stuff. That's not for you to worry about. That's not for me to worry about. That's not for your VSO to worry about. You submit every single heart condition. Let the VA do VA stuff, okay? Same thing with back. You have degenerative disc disease, you have lumbar spine, you have this, you have that. Doesn't matter. Let the VA do VA stuff. That's not our role. Our role is to submit evidence-based claims. So yeah, if you want to submit, I don't even know heart conditions. I'm just gonna Google it real quick. 12 common heart conditions. You want to submit arrhythmia, atherosclerosis, atrial fibrillation, cardiac arrest. You want to submit all those? Go for it. All right, let the VA do VA stuff. I'm also going to link what you need is the BDD. It's on my website. There's a whole section for BDD claims, and they are extremely easy. Don't overcomplicate it. Make a list, submit the list. That's what you need to do. But yeah, man, I hope that answers your question. Submit all of the claims. Michael Monado says, I plan on filing for a skin rash on my arms. I keep it under control with the cream. Here's my question. What was the CMP exam? Yeah, so skin, just to be real with you, Michael, skin conditions are largely rated at 0% or 10%, okay, because we have creams. So the same, it's a good baseline for the sleep apnea changes. With the CPAP, if you can wear it and it works, it goes to 0%. Same thing for acne. If you have creams, medications, Accutane, if it cures or helps your skin condition go away, then it's going to be rated at 0%, and it sucks. Okay. Samuel says, and thank you everyone for the members and the donation, appreciate that. Samuel says, today's my last day in the service. Congrats, welcome to the next chapter of your life. I wasn't able to start any disability claims, moved across country. Should I go to doctors now for evidence? What should I be looking at the roadmap? Samuel, the thing I just linked, you're not on a BDD claim, one. I would treat your claim like a BDD though, meaning make a list of everything you were seen for in service, make a list of everything you were not seen for, submit the claim. There's a little worksheet in there that you can use if you want to, but it just helps you align what you are going to submit. And that's it. You're within your first year. That's the second best time to submit VA claims. Okay. Not CAI. I had my mental health CMP doc said, Gad, I got the copies from VSO. What should I look into to see if it went well? Yeah, look at the mental health DBQ, and there's these little boxes. One's for 0, one's for 100%. It says total and social occupational impairment, and between that is essentially where your rating is going to fall. All right, Caruso, thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. I'm 100% PMT with a homebound SMC. I can still work, and I don't want to go to appointments where I lose anything for having a job and not going. No, you won't. No, you will not at all. One of these gubbies I work with, who's a GS13, is the same situation as you, and he's been working there forever. Okay? No, you will not. Hopeful with the lawyer. All right, Pat Brown says, hey Clay, I was recently awarded 100% PNT. Another one. We have a lot of PNTers in here today, so congrats to everyone. After about 2 years of volleying HLRs and supplemental claims, I have a question about the effective date they gave me. Yes, so I don't see your other question, but I probably know what your question is going to be. It is extremely common for the VA to mess up effective dates, and I don't understand why. So you could do a HLR for the effective date on itself, but there's some context as to when your effective date changes, okay? A diagnosis would be one of them, so it really depends on what the context is. Generally speaking, it would be a HLR for your effective date. All right, NASNEG says currently at 90, need to get to 100%. Really don't know where to start or how to process any advice. Yes, so one, don't aim for 100%. That's going to set you off in a wrong position. Two, yeah, Pat Brown. So it sounds like a diagnosis change, okay? Sorry, Nas. It sounds like a diagnosis change, but I don't know that because I'm not seeing it in front of me. So based off your comments, let's do a higher level review on the effective date. Okay, Naz, don't aim for 100%. I want you to aim to be properly rated. Okay. Two, what are you currently suffering from right now that you're not rated for? That would be where you start at. Then you say, okay, can I connect this to anything? Secondary or direct? Did I complain about it in service? Then you look at presumptives. You look at your denials. And depending on that, that will tell you if you're properly rated or not. Alright, Zombie says, hey daddy, hello, what's up? Yeah, Patrick, man. AF Vet says, any idea when the next town hall with VA secretary will be held? How do we submit questions? So there's an email list. You can subscribe to VA emails. I'm gonna see if I have one. Mark, I see you got it. I'm gonna see if I have one already. You go to the VA, there's a email list you can hop on, and they will email everyone saying ask your questions. I have no idea when the next one's going to be, but you can submit your questions that way to hopefully be chosen to ask. Bryce Leonardo says, hey CIVDIV, so I'm at 80% trying to get to 100, okay? I wouldn't try to get to 100, I would try to be properly rated. I have persistent depressive disorder and also knee pain and knee instability. I've now been diagnosed with anxiety. Should I do a secondary for it? You're already rated for mental health and you have anxiety, so those are the same. What are your symptoms, right? Has your mental health symptoms gotten worse? And if they have gotten worse, do they meet the next criteria? That's where you start. I'm gonna submit, or I'm gonna link my favorite video I've ever made to you for mental health at 70%. I'm gonna assume you're not at 70. Okay, and you're at 50 or 30. If that's you, then you need to watch this. That's how. For your knees, it's going to be based on range of motion, and you have instability there as well, and then it depends on your other ratings. Catfish Balls was rated super low on several conditions, but still 100% PNT. Should I request a higher level review? Only if it would put you in the SMC category. If it doesn't, it's not worth it. Okay, rated super low is still being rated. That's a you thing. If you're not looking at SMCs, I wouldn't personally. That's just me. Can you? Sure. Montrit Neve says tinnitus, left knee, degenerate lower spine. Radiculopathy in each leg. Conditions have not gotten much worse. I'm trying to increase. Conditions have gotten much worse. Okay, tinnitus not going anywhere. Left knee, right knee is going to be based on range of motion. There is instability clause there. Go to the playlist, Monster. Let me see if I can link a whole playlist actually. I can't. This playlist has knees, back, and yeah. Okay, so your 20% for lumbar spine, also range of motion. Your radiculopathy is going to be based on the mild or moderate of the nerve, okay? And then that's how you would increase it. There are many different styles of plantar fasciitis. They're all the same for VA rating stuff. Michael Maldonado, how's the house coming? As you can see, I'm still in a hotel, so not too hot. Honey, what? Come say hi. No, thank you. All right, she won't say hi. Okay. When can you submit for PNT? You don't submit for PNT; it's granted. There is a way to request through your RO if you are 100%. Christopher Flores, high CIVDIV, 100% PNT, limited to making income, full passive income. So I know Josh answered that, but the answer is no. I also know Josh talked about having your own business, which is not the same. Passive income, it does not affect TDIU, but you are 100% PNT. If you are 100% PNT, what it sounds like your TDIU or IU, 100% PNT, you could be a millionaire. IU, TDIU, you have a limit on income, not to include passive. What? Right here. You have to come say hi for her though.
No.
Come on, I got it.
No, please stand here.
Come over here.
No.
Okay. JC Welch says, try to reach out to VSO. How many days, weeks should they usually take to get back to you? I don't know, man. How busy is that office? Okay. Are you in like the DC area with a buttload of people, or like middle of nowhere, Arkansas? Yeah, I tried, Frankie. I tried. Okay, not CIA. What should I look for? We already answered that one. Dom, 1983 says, BVA scheduled hearing after 3.5 years for sleep apnea, secondary sinusitis, and rhinitis. VA said I can provide additional evidence. Already submitted IMO DPQ. Thoughts on new evidence? You already have the IMO of the DPQ. I'm going to assume there's nothing else to submit. And good luck on your appeal. All right, Michael Maldonado. Been out 15 years. Thank you for being a member. Been out 15 years. Got diagnosed with plantar fasciitis last year. No complaints while in service. Should I even bother with the claim? You're going to have evidence from service, whether that's medical or evidence other than medical. Okay? So if you patrolled a lot, carried heavy loads, did all that stuff, then yes, you could do it. If you're 100% P&T, I wouldn't even mess with it at all. If you have flat feet at like 10%, then you can go secondary. If you have flat feet at like 30 or 50, I wouldn't. So there's tons of scenarios where you would and tons where you would not. But it all starts with what's your evidence. Clarence says, love you, bro. You're the best on YouTube. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that, man. I try to give information straightforward. No beating around the bush, no cookie cutter stuff. I try to, at least. You'd be surprised at how many people that makes mad. Okay. None Humper. Speaking of tinnitus, I was service connected for that at 10%. Yep, 10% is the only thing you can get, is the only rating you can get for tinnitus. Clarence says, how does compensation work when you're at 70% and receive additional ratings that put you over 100%? Yeah, so let's say we'll use January of 2023 as your 70% date. Let's say in May of 23, you get 100%. From January to May, you will get back pay from 70 to 100. So whatever that difference is, right? Multiply that by however many months, 4 or 5, from January to May, that's what back pay is like. James Lyons says, I'm rated for 10% tinnitus, effective June of 2019. I filed intent to file in April, planning on filing for depression and anxiety. Secondary to tinnitus, will 5-year rule apply? It doesn't matter, James, it's totally irrelevant. You have tinnitus, it doesn't go lower than that. So it's completely irrelevant. Christopher Flores says, hi, CIVDIV, 100% P&T. Awesome, congrats. Am I limited to yearly 12K salary? If you're 100% P&T, 100% P&T, not IU, you can be a millionaire. Okay, you can do whatever you want. Caruso, 100% P&T, and all my issues are chronic. Do I have to go to my appointments? Do I have to get more medicine? No, you do not, to keep your percentage. No, if you're 100% P&T and you don't want to go to healthcare anymore, you're not obligated to at all. If you want to stop seeing the VA and go to private, you can do that. Or if you want to keep going to the VA healthcare, you can do that too. It doesn't matter. I see that, J-Rip. Thank you. Okay, Charles says, I was stuck at 80% for a while and watching your channel helped me get to 100. No Nexus letter, no lawyer. Thank you. Thank you. That's the whole purpose of the channel, right? Empower veterans to do it themselves. Okay, Chris Michael says, I'm 90%. So you are IU and have been for 10 years. Should I try for 100% or just leave it? Totally up to you. Okay, I can't tell you to try for that. The question is, what are you underrated, right? Has any secondaries developed? That is all you. You know, can you work? That's what you're really saying. Brady Jones, denied because they said it happened while I was in the reserve. We already answered that one. No, they didn't. Jessica Martinson had bursitis in the Army, dealt with it, and have taken ibuprofen for years and never saw a doctor for it until VA healthcare. What's your opinion about a claim? I have nerve test soon. You have a significant time gap. Okay, not 10 years, not 20 years. You have 30-year time gap. One, so the VA will look at chronicity of symptoms. So if you've been taking over-the-counter medication for a long time, that would be solid. It would be really solid if you had evidence in service of you complaining about that. So it just depends on what the answer to those questions are. Crystal Meth says 100% PNT here. Get at me. Awesome. Congrats to you. Make sure I'm not skipping any member chats. All right. DCast, how to move from 100% to PNT without messing things up. Yeah, so first, your rating code sheet, and I'm going to link on how to get your rating code sheet. It's generally fast. It's either through a VSO or through your regional office. Let me link that first. But from your rating code sheet, okay, from there, you figure out which conditions are not static, and then you keep building evidence for those conditions. Because at some point you will have a routine future exam. You will. Not everyone. And so whatever that looks like for you, you need to have evidence to back up that claim, right? Josh, that's funny. It says, congrats, Crystal. Don't spend it all on your YouTube name. All right. Christopher Flores, so as long as I put it under an LLC and made income that way, you're saying it would not affect my TDIU. It would 1,000,000,000% affect your TDIU, okay? Not only that, but outside of VA, you can't pay yourself a low wage. The IRS will require your business to pay you an acceptable wage, okay? So you'll be in trouble 2 times there. With VA, TDIU, and with the IRS. And they will get you. Yep, Animal Tracks is 100 plus viewing, only 41 likes. Hit the like button. I appreciate that. Hit the like button. I'd love you forever. All right, Derail Who? Denial stated not enough clinical evidence to make diagnosis. There we go. You need a diagnosis. You need a diagnosis. You need a current diagnosis. It's got to be chronic, okay? So go get a diagnosis and submit the supplemental. I've prostradius, but I don't want to visit my urologist. He puts finger in. If you have a condition, and it stems from service, then submit the claim. You need the in-service event, the current diagnosis. Show your arm up close. I assume you mean my tattoos. I'll show you this one. I guess that didn't help. Ooh, pretty nice. Okay, thank you. All right, been on the waiting list for Doc for 3 months. I'm looking forward to meeting with him. Thanks. Awesome. Yeah, he's had some stuff going on, but I'm glad he's back at it now. I'm looking for a question because a lot of them are just copy paste. Okay, J-Rip. Gulf War vet here, didn't even think or know I could file for compensation until 3 years ago. Waited till August of last year to file, receive P&T. Listen to that. Boom. Boom. Gulf War all the way to 2023 and just filed and got P&T recently. Congrats to you, J-Rip. Seriously. Scott Lyall says, completed my Gen Med CMP exam and didn't go as hoped. I did not have x-rays for ankles and hips. Currently have 30 days until EAS. What do you recommend I do to boost my rating? You are active, so there's nothing you can do, okay? You don't even know if you're... I'm going to try to say this nice. You have no idea what happened in that exam, okay? Whatever you think happened probably didn't happen. So just wait for the decision. Wait for the decision, and when it comes, you can go from there, right? You're still within your first year window when you leave. I assume you mean Marine Corps because you said EAS. So when you leave the Marine Corps, you still have that one, you're in that 1 year window, which is really, really good. Jared, no, what's up, bro? I did my CMP exam. I just checked my status. It said that someone submitted DBQ. What's that mean? It means someone submitted DBQ. And for anyone checking their claim every day, I would just stop, okay? Because the internal correspondence between the VA is only going to make you more mad. John Doe, can combined respiratory ratings exceed ratings on CFR? For sleep apnea and asthma, they can. Okay, there is a CFR code for that. I forgot what it is. But like sleep apnea, asthma, COPD, bronchitis, same. Sinusitis separate, rhinitis separate. Okay, Hopeful Vet says, how do you fight the VA when you can clearly see that they are developing to deny your claim? With a lawyer. I hate that's the answer, but that's like the nature of the beast that we live in, which sucks. Bryce Leonardo says, I have recently been diagnosed with anxiety. We answered that one. Well, I'm rated for my knees, depression, and GERD. Would it be good to add anxiety as secondary? You already rated for depression, so you have to look at your mental health symptoms, okay? And if your symptoms for mental health have worsened, you submit the increase. And while you do it, you can submit anxiety if you want to. It would be irrelevant. Alexander Gill says, I got 0% for my migraines, but I've been having attacks like 2-3 times a week, and all they've been giving me is shots in my rear, my mental health. They combined it to 30%. Okay, I don't know what the question is. For migraines, do you need evidence? I see you, Nicholas. You need evidence for your migraines, and I'm gonna link a video. I don't know what your question is, so I'm just gonna start making them up. Migraine increase, you're gonna want to check this, but you need evidence for symptom severity. Well, you already have service connection, so yours is easy. You need symptom severity, and you also have mental health. I'm gonna drop the 70% video for that one, which happens to be my favorite video ever. Okay. Nicholas, thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Seriously. Your question is, after May 19, will I be able to file a secondary claim for tinnitus? May 19th has nothing to do with tinnitus at all. I'm not sure where you're getting that. The May 19th is for GERD and IBS, and that's it. There have been no, listen to me, there have been no changes to tinnitus, sleep apnea, and mental health. None proposed. Right? I get it makes for good videos on YouTube. I even have them myself. But there are no changes to that. I am going to link a tinnitus video for you because the changes are actually good. The issue is people don't read, and they take what people on YouTube say at face value because those people also don't read. So check that out. It's about tinnitus. You gotta read. Okay, iOS text. I retire in 7 months. Any tips? Yep, I got the perfect thing for you. BDDs are extremely easy. what you need to do is follow these 4 steps. There's a video there, there's a worksheet there. That's all you need to do. Make sure you do your final physical, exit exam, separation health assessment, and that's it. CIVDivonline.com, BDD claims. Okay. Jared No says, hey bro, I just completed my exam and my status said that someone submitted. Okay, we already answered that one. More Basin. What's the chances of getting sleep apnea secondary to sinusitis on a higher level review decision? I can answer that. What's your evidence? You know, you can't just say your sleep apnea comes from your sinusitis. It's not a one size fits all, like a snapback. Okay, this one size fits all. Sleep apnea to sinusitis or any secondary is not a one size fits all. It's your evidence. So someone over here might have sleep apnea secondary to sinusitis, and they have their evidence, and your evidence has nothing to do with them. Your evidence is separate. They're not the same. It's different. So my counter question to you is, what is your evidence to show that your sleep apnea comes from your sinusitis? That's the question. Adrian just got PNT. Awesome. Congrats. Joel Polero says, is neurogenic plantar fasciitis, well, we answered that one. Yes, plantar fasciitis for VA rating purposes, same thing. Yeah, Bryce, okay, awesome, got you. Big Drip Gaming, that's hilarious. How long do TDIU claims take to process? Yes, I'll say it. I said this 100 times. I've said this more on YouTube than any other statement. I'll say it again. There's not a single person on this planet that can answer timeline questions. Okay, so initial claims, secondaries, higher level reviews, TDIU, denials, Board of Appeals, supplementals, aggravation claims, increases, I don't care what's going on. No one can answer timeline questions, period. I know that sucks. That's just the truth. Okay, Juan Duran says, I'm 90% trying to get to 100. How hard would that be? So if there's problems with your questions, one, don't aim for 100%. I'll make a video on this here shortly because it's going to derail you from what matters. What matters is the big 3 and being properly rated, okay? Now, if you're looking for an increase or to be properly rated, what you need to do is step 1, look for increases. Step 2, look at secondaries. Step 3 is denials. Step 4 is new conditions. Step 5 is presumptives. Luckily for you, we have a video on that, okay? I'm not going to explain all of that because it would take a really long time, but those are the 5 steps. In this video I'm about to drop, it goes over the 5 steps. So anyone looking to maximize their rating, that's how you do it, right there. Everyone is anxiously awaiting these new mental health guidelines. I am too. Yep, I know everyone else is, and I am too. I'm looking forward to it. It seems like it's going to be favorable. I do have some concerns. I need to make a video on that. I do have some concerns with the language because it's like less than or more than 25% of the time. What is the measurement of 25% of the time? How do you get a CNP examiner to say that's less than or that's more than 25% of the time? That's probably my number one critique on the proposal. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So Castillo, they're the same thing. All right, CAC, that's a funny name. At 50% for my knees, denied me for PTSD, but never got an exam, only record check, did HLR, got my exam done April 30th, closed, review, reopen original claim, waiting for decision. Yep, you're in the waiting game, man. Alexander Gill wants to know if anyone else is dealing with Savannah VA Clinic, Savannah, Georgia. Angel says, I just got awarded SSDI. How can I use this letter to beef up my chronic fatigue syndrome claim? or my 7% PTSD. You can't. The VA does not care about SSDI. They don't. They care about the big three. So you can have something for Social Security that has nothing to do with VA claims. VA claims need the in-service event, the current diagnosis, and the nexus. Now chronic fatigue syndrome, is also closely related to Gulf War under NUCMI, so that could be possible for you. Just depends. Bryce says, best thing I found out about knees, it's not how far you can bend, it's when you feel pain. Yes, that's correct. That's for Javier says, bro, best advice I've heard. If you're at 100%, leave it alone. As a rater, it sucks to take it away. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, for sure, right? Unless you've just been freshly rated and you're looking at back pay, there's really no other reason to mess with anything. Victoria says, is it okay to work at 90%? It's okay to be a millionaire with 100% as long as it's not TDIU. Juan Duran says, I put in for the PACT Act 2 weeks ago, just did my CMP exam. Has to be the fastest claim I've ever seen. Yeah, regardless of what people say, the VA does Service Connect claims very fast. Sometimes they don't, and that sucks. If that's you, I'm sorry. But they Service Connect a lot of claims pretty fast, okay? That's the truth. Yep, J Rip says, number 1, CIVDIV, number 2, InfoTap, number 3, Combat Craig. Number 3 should be Veterans Daily. If you educate yourself with these guys, you're on your way to being rated. Best info on the channel. Hey, thanks, J Rip, appreciate that. Teddy Woodson says, how long did it take you to get to 100%? How did your VA experience go? I have this video for members only because it's a little personal, but I'll give you a general answer. Got out in 2019, summer of 19, did my first initial batch of claims with the VSO. I was satisfied, but then I went back, and that's a whole other story. And then I finally got mine in spring of 22, I want to say. Yeah, spring of 22. Ooh, look at that, dude. I went to the gym today. I'm starting to get back in the gym. Okay. Pride Gonzalez says, hi, my claim for PTSD has been sent back to the doc twice, once for an IMO and now a rework. That's generally a good sign. Is that generally a good sign? It's not good or bad. Someone made a mistake somewhere. That definitely sounds like overdeveloping. It's not good or bad, okay? There's just no answer for that. Yeah, Bryce says, thanks again for your videos. Best advice on here. That's what I'm saying. Thank you very much. And if you get value from this, 142 people, if you hit the like button, I'd appreciate it a lot, okay? Frankie says, well, I was screwed by a VA accredited help other vets get their due. Sharks make their money, screwing vets can go kick rocks. Absolutely. I think you emailed me. Was that you? It was you. Yes. So here's a small announcement, okay? I am making a team. Actually, I'll announce it later. I'm making a team. If you want to be a part of it and help veterans, send me an email at TheCivDiv@gmail.com. Okay. I'll make a video on it. Because right now we have decent sized people. Okay. Had my first panic attack due to my tinnitus the other day. I couldn't believe it. That sucks, man. There's definitely room in there for anxiety, maybe hypertension, and a stroke. Robert P. says, afternoon, Clay. If you're down in Florida, I work at Disney. I feel I owe you a drink. We just got back from Disney. Okay, I'll be in Disney again next year, 2 times. So Robert P, hit me up. Victor Diaz, I have PTSD and asthma at 30%. Buddy statements, etc. Don't think about sleep issues while in service. I don't know what your question is, brother. Matthew Moeller says, thank you for the helpful info, Devil Dog. Thanks for fighting for the good ones. Keep pumping them out. Hey, I'm trying. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Have you ever heard of Dr. Todd Finnerty? He's just like psychologist. I have heard of him. Okay, he is a psychologist though. My opinion, and my opinion only, is if you're paying for a private Nexus, it really needs to come. You know what, Josh? I'll make the announcement in full here. If you're paying for, back to you, my opinion, if you're paying for a Nexus, you need to go to a top dog in that food chain, right? So podiatrist for feet, orthopedic for like joints and wrists, right? Psychiatrist for mental health. That's what I would do. Okay, so Josh, because you're a member, I'll go ahead and say this. Yes, email me, TheCivDiv@gmail.com with the subject line 501c3. What I'm doing, there's two things. One, there's a company I'm partnering with, maybe, that is currently registering as a 501c3. Once that happens, we will move on board with them. But until then, I'm just going to make my own team of VA claim assistants for free. It's essentially the one-on-ones, and I'm going to train. I want to train a team of people. Okay, I have my courses. I'm a curriculum developer and instructor at my real job. I'm developing courses, and so if you want to help other veterans, this is no bullshit. Like, no bullshit. If you are serious about it, send me the email. We'll get you on the team. I'll train you. You can answer questions and help veterans on your own time. Right? We'll have a shared email, and that's how we'll do it. If you're not serious about it, don't even email me. It's not to you, Josh. It's to everyone. So if you're not serious, don't even try for it. You're just gonna waste my time. And I'm saying it like that because this is serious. Okay. All right, let me check member chat, and then, well, it's 5:59 at 6:05, so in 6 minutes, I'm gonna dip out, but I'll answer a few more questions, and then I'll answer the member chat, and then we'll dip out, okay? Okay. Jordan Perry says, what advice would you give to someone who's considering to go from 90 to 100%, been out 2 years, my actual rating is high 80s? 5 steps. All right, I linked this video down below, but I'll do it again for you. If you are looking at increasing your rating, it doesn't matter what's going on, what rating you are, what you want to be, you need to look at 5 steps. That video is the 5 steps I just put in there. It's increases, secondaries, denials, new conditions, and presumptives. That is how you are properly rated. Yep, Rebecca Sanford, hello from East Texas, what's up? Teddy Woodson says, my primary care physician filled out a DBQ, does that make it a Nexus? It doesn't make it a Nexus. In the remarks section, there could be a burden of proof statement. You can check that out. But the DBQ is the foundation of the Nexus, right? The first section of the DBQ is your medical evidence, assuming there's the in-service event there. The next section is your current diagnosis and your symptom severity. So as long as that is complete and you have the denial said I had 2 of the big 3, I needed the Nexus. And that sucks, okay? Higher level review, that's what I would do. And then after that, or you also might want to consider a private Nexus and a private DBQ at that point. All right, Nicholas says, after May, we already answered that one. Nick Snyder says, how do I add sleep apnea to my current compensation? You probably need to go if you don't have a diagnosis in service, you're gonna have to go secondary. Secondary sucks, just to let you know, but you would submit a secondary claim. You need correlating factors. Yeah, Josh. So the team I'm making would be on your own terms. You know, if we have someone helping a veteran every single day, they help 10 veterans every day, and they're on crack, that would be awesome. If it's 1 veteran a week, that would be awesome. If it's 1 veteran a month, that would be awesome too. Okay, so really, it's not there's not going to be a quota, right? It's on your time, because it's all going to be for free, right? Okay, answering questions in order here. Daryl says, hope everyone's day's going great. Much respect from Canada. What's up? What's up, Canada? Rebecca Sanford says, when submitting the claim packet, do you include a copy of every medical record or just diagnosis and supportive documentation? Yeah, Rebecca. Yeah, I see you said that here too. It depends. It depends on your claim, but regardless, if you're submitting medical records with your claim, it needs to be the relevant medical records. If you're submitting a claim for knee pain, they don't need your blood work. See what I'm saying? They want stuff on your knee pain, okay? So it's got to be the relevant medical records, whether that's from service, from private, from VA, from TRICARE, it doesn't matter. All right, Juan Duran says, I submitted a claim with seven different disabilities. It took 3 weeks for them to schedule a CMP exam, PACT Act related. Yep, generally pretty fast. Does this mean they will give me a rating for PACT Act claims faster? Maybe. Okay, there's no such thing as a PACT Act claim. PACT Act is a piece of legislation. You have conditions covered under that. Okay, generally speaking, they're easier, right? And if you already had your CMP exam this fast, then you're already ahead of most people. All right, we're going to end the stream there. Let me go back and look at member chat real quick, and then we will dip out. Okay. We got that one. Venger. Okay, so you were denied. Oh, what the heck just happened? You were denied twice. One direct, one secondary. It's in my military records, denied twice at a loss. Yeah, man, so one, that sucks. Two, why were you denied the first time? That's what I want to know. Was it the current diagnosis? If it was the current diagnosis, and then your supplemental claim secondary, you had the current diagnosis, which it said you did, I would do a high-level review. First off, high-level review. Second, you might have to go private Nexus. And I know that sucks, and I hate recommending it, but that's the nature of the beast that we're at, okay? Josh, yep, got you. And that's it. Yeah, Rebecca, no issues. So if you're serious about helping veterans, shoot me the email. If you're not serious, don't waste my time. That's all I got today, right? I'll see y'all later. Thank you, everyone who's a member. Thank you for donating. I appreciate it. Happy Thursday.